Great. Yes.
I had to change from my laptop to my phone. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry about that. I could hear everything, but I couldn't connect. I just couldn't speak. Or I
Okay.
was speaking, but you couldn't hear me. Yeah. So I don't know
Okay.
how I'll do that. Would you work on the slides while I speak, or
Can you see
um
the slide as I share it? Can you see the slide on your screen?
yes, I can see it on
Okay.
my phone and my laptop.
Okay. So just go ahead since we can. Can we all hear her? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear her? Okay, great.
Okay.
So you can
Thank you
just take
very
it up
much.
from
Yeah.
this slide. And just let me know when to or to control the slide.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much. Tina has already gone a little bit far with that presentation. So now on the next slide, you see that what is it? What is exporting? I don't know if you can use your chat and just tell me what you think exporting is, or direct exporting and indirect exporting. And if you've ever tried any, just write it on the slide, on the chat. Let's see. Sorry, the answer is already there. What is direct exporting and indirect exporting? Okay, I can see the. Okay, so anyway, exporting, just give me a minute. I'm still trying to. Tinu, can you make the slide a little bit bigger? The Tinu, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm trying to work on that. You need the slide bigger.
Yes, I can't see. And I have my glasses on. Can't see.
Let me see if you could get bigger here. Uh, no, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that.
Okay. Okay, so just a moment. Let me open mine and just continue with it. Okay, so what is exporting? Exporting is selling products and services across a country's national borders, and in return, getting paid in currency, goods, or services from parties who are also from outside these borders. So, exporting is not just buying and selling products, it also includes services. There are two types of exporting: direct and indirect exporting. Examples of exporting of goods and services, like Tino had mentioned earlier, is when you send your goods, say products like food products, cosmetics, and commodities. Services are, say, you're training for an organization from, say, Canada, then that means, and they pay you in Canadian dollars, that is exporting your service. So there are different kinds of services. You could also be employed by maybe the WTO and asked to do a survey or something here in Nigeria. That is also an export of service because you're paid not in naira but in dollars. So the different benefits. The direct exporting is when you sell directly to a country or a consumer. Indirect is when we do a lot of that in Nigeria. Someone is traveling or someone lives there, abroad, or He's like Tinu has said, the Japa, people are already there. You send the products to them and they sell. So you're doing it indirectly, not directly. So we have benefits of exporting, and it benefits does not only companies and countries do not only benefit. As an individual, you also benefit, and that you benefit in the case that, like in Nigeria now, we know that our naira has been devalued. Well, that's what they say, but today naira is 1,005, tomorrow it's 1,007. We don't know what it is, but things you used to buy for 3,000 naira, I think now are like 9,000 to 10,000 naira. So you don't have that kind of money. So when you export, you make more money because you're earning in dollars, or you're earning in pounds or euros. You're earning in foreign currency. So the benefits are, it gives the company additional profit. As a person, you make more money, and as your company, you have additional profits. You make it gives you opportunity to specialize. That we would explain further, maybe in the physical training. And that's because, if you are, say, exporting to Canada or the US, you have to adapt to their way, to their labeling, to their products. You can't, you specialize in making your product for markets like that. You wouldn't make your products too spicy and then send it to Europe, because they're not like spicy. They don't eat a lot of spice like we do here, or like you do in Asia. So you specialize, and it gives you an opportunity to specialize and narrow down to the kind of to a particular product. You're not a jack of all trades. Then it enhances credibility, innovation, competitiveness through global exposure. That will help you to know. It will open up your view to other nations, other people, other continents, and you will understand how they do things. They said when you travel, you become wiser. So it's almost the same thing. When you export to different countries, you become wiser because you would have done some research there. It mitigates risk of doing business in one country. If you just sell products in Nigeria, when things get bad, it happens to you. Like people say, Nigeria happens to all of us here. But when you export, you make foreign currency, and you earn in foreign currency, and therefore your money gives you more value, and then you can afford to do even more, and it expands your network. And what does it exporting do what are the benefits for countries? It increases the GDP of the country. It increases foreign exchange earnings, increases investments. People will want to invest more in the country. It lessens the economic downturn and seasonality. Like I said earlier, it creates jobs, and then economic growth, and reduces brain drain. So let's say we export more, because Nigeria is more of an importing country. Let's say we export more and we build more jobs, we create more jobs. There will be less brain drain. There will be less of Japa, everybody trying to leave the country. I hope I'm clear, at least to this point.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. But I will
Okay.
ask the participants to just drop in the chat box any information, anything that stands out to you, so that we
Okay.
can
I know
be sure that
we'll
we are
take questions
communicating.
at the end, right?
Yes, we'll take, then you can drop your questions too.
Okay. All right. So going forward, I'm sure before you start anything, you have a plan and you make plans. So just like you have a business plan, you must have an export plan. And like this saying goes, he who does not plan plans to fail. So before you start anything to do with export, you must have a plan, and you decide what do I want to export? Do I even have the product? This thing everybody's saying about we need to export, we need, how do I start it? You're not supposed to just jump into it, but um, make plans before you start. So what is an export plan? Basically, the layman's language is that export plan is just like your normal business plan before you start a business. Say you're going to a bank to get credit, they will first ask you, where's your business plan? So you must have a plan, no matter how little. You must start something. You must have started something or start a business, a plan for your export. So an export plan is a structured document outlining a company's strategy for entering and growing in international markets. It covers market research, logistics, regulations, risk management, and financial planning, essential for businesses looking to expand globally in a strategic and sustainable way. So before you even start an export plan, you first of all think, do I have a product that is exportable? You you say, yes, I have 5 products. Or as a business in Nigeria, I already have like 5 to 10 products. Which one of these 10 products is exportable? You write it down, you narrow it down to the products that you think are exportable. Where can I sell this product, or who consumes this product? Let's say it's consume agricultural processed foods. Who consumes this product? These are all the things you need to take cognizance to when you start your export plan. And of course, you jot all these things first. You research all these things before you put it together and come up with a proper plan, a proper document. So you do the market research. Which country or which continent would I want to export this product to? Who consumes this product? How do they consume it? How do they prepare it? As you know, there are different ways, even within Africa, that we consume certain products. If it's, say, cosmetic, who would use my cosmetic? Would it be more of um, African descent people, or would it cater for all, including the Caucasians? Then logistics. Are there how do I get this product to my clients or to my consumers in whichever continent or whichever country you decide to export to? You look at the logistics. Is it going to be by air, by ship, or how? Or you investigate or you research who are the logistic companies that export or transport to different countries or continents. Then you research the regulations. If, say, you're selling products, and um, let's say it's um, bacon. Let's say your product is bacon, and you didn't research, you didn't do anything, and then you want to export it to, say, somewhere like Jordan, and you know that Jordan is I think it's almost like 90% or 80 to 90% Islamic. Who would consume your bacon there? So those are the little things you need to put in check. And what are the regulations in that country for these products that I'm intending to export to that country? It reduces, when you do all this research, it reduces your risks in exporting. Export is not cheap. Export is not easy. But if you put all these things together, if you research well, it will work out easy for you. Then you plan financially. You put your finances together. Do I have the money to produce? And if I sign a contract with, say, a supplier or a middleman in the country I'm going to export to, do I have enough money to produce enough for him? And that's another problem that we've had, and we have encountered a lot with people, because we also do market access. The problem, especially now, is that we agree We have everything. We have everything on paper and we agree with everything. We'll tell them that, don't worry, I'll be able to supply you, say, 5 tons of this product every month. And you know that it might not be possible. You might not be able to get 5 tons every month. Just tell them the truth. I can supply 1 ton or 5 tons every other month. So you make all those plans. Do you have the money to supply, to get all the packaging, the raw materials and everything within that, within the 2 months to produce, to package, and then to export? So those are the things you need to put in place before you start exporting. So the key components of an export plan, I have explained most of it, is market research analysis. You have to research the market you want to export to. Not because everybody's exporting to the UK or everybody's exporting to the US and you hear success stories. And I'm sure a lot of success stories did not just start with in a day. It must have been built over the years. So what are they exporting? How are they exporting it? These are the research you need to take before you start. Don't just jump on the wagon of export because everybody's exporting and you think they're making money from it. You research and you analyze. Then entry strategy. How do you intend to enter the market? There are different ways of entering markets. Are you going to do direct export? That means you're selling your product online, say. You've advertised online, you've gotten people who want to buy your product, or someone bought your product here and took it to any of the countries and someone sees it and wants it, and then you send to them. There are different ways to enter the market. So you do direct export, or are you going to get a middleman or a store or a warehouse in the country you intend to export to, and you send that will be your entry strategy? Or would you get a partner in the country? These are all the researches you need to do. Then what are the compliance and regulations for that country? What do you need to do? Because you don't have to, when you have a product and it's sold in Nigeria, does not mean it will be sold even in Ghana. You have to research what are their compliance regulations, what are all their regulations, how do they want it done, how do they label their products. So you have to research on labeling, you have to research on packaging, even colors. There are certain countries that will not touch your product if they are certain colors. We know of countries that will say, don't write, we don't want red. Your product should, or your label shouldn't be in red. We don't like it. There are colors like that people do not want on products. Whilst in Africa, a lot of us like very colorful things. So you go into certain shops, you see most of the products that are sold in African stores will have a lot of colors, and that's what attracts us to them. So you check all their compliance and regulations. What are the pricing? How do you price? And pricing, you have to also learn to do that, because when you price, it's not just the raw materials and the packaging materials and all. There are little things you need to add. You need to add up to give you that price of your product. You also need to research how much, if other people are selling this product, how much are they selling it? I know we've exported certain things, certain products to the US, and Nigeria's product it's more expensive. Why is ours more expensive? We now came down and looked at it. Why are our own products more expensive than the ones, say, produced in, let's say, Ghana, because we have similar things? And we found that it is when you put the cost of electricity, the cost of our tariffs and logistics, petrol, and all those things, makes our products more expensive. So how do we make sure that we can price, or how do we produce our products so that we can compete with others in the global market? What are the things we need to do to adjust so that our products will have the same value or even a little bit less. So you look at the pricing. How are you pricing? Mothers who are exporting, you need a nanny to take care of your children whilst you're doing some work, or you need to employ more people to help you do to produce so that you'll be able to export. All those things count in pricing your product. Then you plan financially. How do I plan? Now we're in the beginning of the year. So you'll be able to plan. I would, I intend to export my product, say by the third quarter of this year. What do I need to do to be able to achieve that? Do I have enough money to buy the packaging, the labeling, the logistics, all that? You need to plan that. Then logistics and supply chain management. When you send it to, do you have a store? Have you already marketed your product to to the country you intend to export to? Do you have a middleman or do you have a partner? How would you meet that supply chain? Then the risk management strategies. How do I um, meet up with the risk? How do I reduce risks in this business? Let's assume that your product gets on the ship and the ship, maybe a whole 40-foot container, and then the ship sinks. How do you mitigate that? Those areas, then you have to think about insurance and all. So to have an export plan, a well-structured export plan, is very important for every kind of exporter. If you're starting small, you still need to have a good and a well-structured export plan. And this plan helps businesses set clear objectives. It will help you set clear objectives for market entry so that you will know when you have an export plan, how do I enter this market? Will I start with 1 carton of my product, or do I have partners and middlemen or wholesalers who would take, say, 5 pallets, 6 pallets of my product? It helps you plan. It helps you know how to enter the market. It ensures resources are allocated efficiently. That is the resources, the human resource, the financial resource, operational resources. Human resources, how many people do I need to employ? How many people do I need to have as permanent staff? But if I'm going to grow bigger, or I'm going to export, say, even if it's half a container, 6 pallets, how many people will this number of staff that I have now, say I have 4, are they enough to meet my deadline, my timelines, or do I need to employ more part-time staff? So you need to look at it. Helps you determine that. It reduces risks associated with international trade, such as regulatory non-compliance. So when you plan, you've already researched their compliance and regulatory laws. It will be easier for you. So your products are not getting to the ports of your end consumer, and then they're sending it back to you. We've had issues like that of some people who have sent out products and they just called. Even one was just recent, not too long ago. The whole product was the whole container was sent back to Nigeria, and that's another cost, because I think the lady had to pay about $8,000 to get her products back to Nigeria, while some would just say, no, don't worry, trash it there, wherever it is, because it's more expensive to bring it back than to get rid of it there. So these are the reasons why you need to have an export plan. You need to do certain researches and find out how how I'm going to enter this export business. It improves the chances of securing financing and government support. There is no finance, there is no bank, there is no angel investor that will give you money without a plan. So if you want to get loans or grants from government or from the banks or any financial institution, you need to have an export plan. It also enhances decision making with data driven insights. So you have a plan, you know how much you need, you know how much of your product you need. You can start small. You can say, I'm going to start with 1 pallet of my product. I'll export it today. And then you agree with your, well, before then I'm sure you already have, or you have had a middleman or a supermarket or whoever is going to buy from you. Okay, so what are the questions that you need to ask, or questions you need to answer before you start? Taking the time to reflect on the answers will put you on the right path. You need to ask questions. Ask yourself. Just sit down, even ask yourself and your colleagues or your people questions before you start. And make sure that you get your staff involved. They have to also have the same, they should have the dream. You sell the dream to them. Let them buy in to your dream for export. So you ask them, you ask yourself or with your partners, do I have a marketable product? This product that I have, say you're selling shea butter, and you just package it well and you sell to people. I know there are different kinds of packaging in Nigeria, but when you're exporting, how do I sell this shea butter? Is it marketable, say, in Europe? Who is going to buy? How do I find the opportunities in Europe to sell my shea butter? Even if you're selling, say, wholesale, do I have companies in Europe that buy shea butter? Where are they located? Who can assist me in those countries? That is one of the most important questions you need to ask. And that is the use of our embassies or the foreign embassies in Nigeria also. You need to use them. They're not just there for visa. They're there for business. Most embassies, let me say 100% of the embassies are in either country for business opportunities in that country. So if you meet them and ask them or send them a mail and ask them, who buys shea butter? Are there companies that would need shea butter in your country? They will tell you, they will even connect you. And that is even easier. I know you're not falling into the hands of scammers. Should I travel to my target market and when? So most of the times there are trade fairs, B2B trade fairs and B2C trade fairs, where you go there. Trade fairs are not just for going to sell. You package your products and you're there to sell. There are different kinds of trade fairs. There are trade fairs you need for that you meet business people. That means you meet wholesalers, you're selling in large quantity. You're not going there with your products in a bag or in cartons and you're selling. No, they're different trade fairs. So you find out, how do I get this fairs? Because we promote trade fairs because it's the easiest way to enter the country and get your target market. Or if you have someone who has used your product or who has bought your product, say you advertise on your social media handle and someone bought, and you find out that people from, say, Turkey are buying my product a lot, you will plan to go to Turkey. You tell them that I'll visit you maybe in a month, or maybe second quarter of this year. I want to meet my customers. And that's because a lot of people buy your product from that country. So you target, should I travel there? If you have so many customers from one country, it is advisable to go there. So they put a face to the product. Then is my management team committed to exporting? That's why I said, when you have a product and you want to export, you need to get the buy-in of your team. From the greatest to the least, they have to be on one page with you, because that's the only way you'll be able to succeed in the exporting business. Then, do we have the resources we need to export? How much resource do you have? How much finance do you have to start this? Then you work around it. You can debate it. You can talk about it with your team, and you decide. So next is a case study, and it's an example we want to use. Green Harvest Nigeria was a promising agribusiness company based in Kano, specializing in organic hibiscus flowers, founded by Chinedu and Amina, two young entrepreneurs passionate about agriculture. The company had built a strong reputation in the local market. After hearing about the growing demand for hibiscus in Europe, they saw an opportunity to expand internationally. With excitement and confidence, Green Harvest secured an export deal with a German distributor who promised large orders. However, in their rush to export, they neglected to develop a structured export plan, a decision that could cost them everything. So just because of time, because I would have asked you to tell me what the reasons were, I'll just continue. So the mistakes Green Harvest made, one, they did not do a market research. Underestimating consumer preferences, competition, and demand. They did not look at it, they did not research because they got one company which had decided to buy from them. They just jumped into the boat without doing a proper market research. Then pricing and currency risks, failing to consider exchange rate fluctuations and international pricing strategies. They, well, you know, sometimes we forget to put custom duties, logistics, and all. And there are lots of countries you have to agree. Well, we'll do that in the physical um, meetings where you have Incoterms and then the rest of it. Who is going to pay for what tax? Am I the one paying the custom duties and tariffs at the Nigerian end and the German end? Or are you going to pay for it? Are you going to pick up your products from my warehouse, or am I going to put it on your ship? So all those will be discussed later. And then you have to cost that in your product. Not just because you got a deal, you quickly jump on it and then you agree on pricing. A lot of people have gotten their hands burnt with that. Then ignoring compliance and regulations. I would have given you a short story on that, but I'm looking at our time and we're fast spent. So ignoring compliance and regulations and overlooking export license, custom procedures, and quality standards. Let me just say this. There was a businessman here in Nigeria who is a big exporter now. But when he started, he was trying to export mangoes to a supply chain, to a supermarket chain in Germany. So when he got the mangoes, all he did was he signed a deal, and they were waiting for his mangoes in Germany. He got the mangoes, they exported, and they got to the port in Germany and in Hamburg, and they said he got a call from them, and they said his mango has been contaminated and he can't sell. They can't sell. So should they discard the mangoes there in Germany, or they will send it back to him so he can discard it? What was the mistake? All little mistakes. He now, sorry, before then, he asked, what was it that happened? How did my mangoes get contaminated? And they told him that there were bacteria and there were worms in the mango for when they got there. How did it get in? Those were the issues. He didn't research. He didn't research how he was supposed to harvest the mangoes, how he was supposed to pack them, and how he was supposed to transport them, and what kind of airline or air freighting, how he was supposed to pack it up for air freighting. He didn't do all that. So by the time the mangoes got there, some were spoiled and then there were worms in it. So these are the researches you need to do, and their compliance and everything that you need to get before you export. Poor logistics planning. And like we know, our roads are really bad. This is something we've been looking at and we're working on that here. When you accounting for shipping costs, insurance, and customs clearance, when you look at logistics from farm to plate, between that, the logistics from farm to plate, in Nigeria, it's really tight because our roads are not good. Our trucks, you have to know how to pack products, especially agro products. How do you even harvest it? That's why a lot of our Nigerian yam is not being acceptable in places like the US and UK, even though now they're teaching us how to do it, and we've started going into the market little by little. So you need to plan your logistics, you need to learn it, find out how you're supposed to do it, so you're not wasting or losing money when you export. Then weak risk management, no backup plan. You must have backup plan for your supply chain. If you're buying raw materials from certain people, is it 2 or 3 people? You must have a backup plan. If your main supplier is not available, research, find out people who have the same kind of supply, or who will be able to supply that kind of the quality of product of raw materials that you need. So you have to do that. And then geographical risk. Sometimes there is flooding and all that. Say your supply chain is in Kogi, and then the last rainy season washed up a lot of farms in Kogi. Where would you get your raw materials? If you don't make plans for that, we're not praying that it happens, but if it does happen, how do you go about it? Now you have to look for another a backup plan for it. And then payment delays. How do you, if your buyer does not pay in time, where do you get money to produce your next batch of products? Those are the things you need to also look at. And if you don't do that, you have you make the kind of mistake that Green Harvest Nigeria made. So
Okay,
how
so
does,
anyway, sorry, we need to move
yeah,
faster because
oh,
of our time. I know we have a lot of information to give.
yeah,
We
okay.
need to move faster because of time.
Okay, so export planning reduces risks. With when you plan, if you don't have an export plan, you have a high risk of regulatory fines, rejected shipments, unexpected shipping costs and delays, cash flow issues due to poor payment terms. And I've even mentioned a lot of that whilst I was talking. No strategy for adapting to foreign competition. So you already have a plan. You've already said, you already know that if things like this come up, you know what to do next. But with a good export plan, you have clear roadmap to profitability, you have effective risk mitigation strategy, you must have planned, and then you have smooth supply chain logistics process, compliance with trade laws and standards, and effective risk mitigation strategy. Benefits of a well-structured plan. It helps you you have a clear roadmap to your market. So you have a clear market entry strategy. It helps you with risk management. It identifies the potential risks and provides mitigation strategies. Then the compliance, it ensures that you have you adhere to international trade laws and reduce exposure to legal challenges. We have a lot of trade agreements with so many countries. There, when you do your research, you'll be able to know, and then you'll be able to defend yourself. Financial planning, it helps you forecast the costs, the pricing, and you know that prices of goods, say in Nigeria, there are certain goods that are cheap now between this first quarter of the year before the rains. You know, certain things are cheap. You make plans, you buy more, whilst during the rainy season they're expensive. You know that you have enough stock for your for raw materials. Then competitive advantage, it gives you a well prepared competitive advantage over other competitors in the market. Okay, Tinu, I think you can just run through from the rules and regulations here. Thank you, everybody. I hope I was clear enough, but there's a lot, so I just tried to cut it short. Thank you. Tinu.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Amina. Okay. Thank you. We can see the simile. They're interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have very short. I'm already seeing signal from 8J that we are running out of time. So there is a lot of information when it comes to exporting, And it's not only about the information, it's about taking action and coming how exporting plan reduces risk. Okay, someone is asking how exporting plan reduces. Okay, so there's a lot of information which we are going to have enough time during the physical training to deal with. I'm very sure we have a lot of questions that is running through our mind. Yes, just register for the physical class. We have more time to take that. And I will rush quickly to the next slide that is also important for this. So, rules and regulation. Anyone intending to do business in the global market must allocate resources to ensure knowledge of compliance with national and international rules of trade. So now, where the issue comes, as the first speaker have said, is when there is lack of market research, when there is lack of adequate export plan, which your market research is a component, it becomes challenging for you as an exporter because you just realize you are meeting delays and building blocks along the way. For example, you're interested in exporting to Morocco. The first thing you're supposed to, one of the things you will do under your rules and regulations is to do your research about Morocco. The products you are exporting to Morocco, is it acceptable? Is it not a contraband? If it is acceptable, what is the custom procedure? How do they want it in their country? Which, does it have a limit to quantity they want in their country per time? What are the payments that surrounds it? So your market research should have this, your export plan should have this component of the market research that is going to talk about the rules and the regulations. One of which is the customs procedure. We have the rules of origin. So what is the rules of origin? The rules of origin is a certificate that you also you apply for here in Nigeria and you take it here in Nigeria. And this rules of origin is to show that this product, for example, if you say cocoa, let's say cocoa, that's okay. The rules of origin is a document that will certify that this cocoa is Nigerian cocoa, that it was farmed, harvested, and maybe processed here in Nigeria. And why is rules of origin important? It is important because no matter the end buyer, the location where that product is going, they can trace it back. It gives room for traceability. In the international space, there's been a lot of conversation and a lot of interest about traceability. That is, how are we able to trace where this particular product that we are using is coming from? Sanitary and phytosanitary regulation, this is very important. The story that Madam Amina was saying earlier about the exportation of mango to Germany, one of the reasons that made that process to fail was issues that has to do with sanitary and phytosanitary. One of the things that was now identified later was that when the man has the farm, for those of us that are used to the northern side of the country, the man has the farm in Nasarawa. The mangoes are beautiful, they are good, the quality are good, but the mango needs to leave through Kano Airport. So they need to transport the mangoes from Nasarawa to Kano. Unfortunately, they used a truck that was used to transport animals. The truck was washed, it was clean, but according to German regulations, there are some phytosanitary regulations that has to be done on that truck before it could be fit for that kind of product. But unfortunately, that was not done. By the time the mangoes got to Germany and they did their test as usual, because this is what they are going to consume, they find out some traces of some of these things, which makes that deal not go right. So sanitary and phytosanitary regulation is very important. Then your certifications, we cannot emphasize this. For those that will come for physical training, if you're having challenge or you don't know how to, we can support in the facilitation of some of these certifications that you might require for your businesses, for your products or services. So this is just a question, and I need a quick response in our chat box. So a Nigerian honey exporter had products returned because the label claimed 100% pure honey. Why do you think it was returned? Anyone, one or two people, even if you want to unmute and just talk, it's fine in 30 seconds. Why do you think this product was rejected because they wrote 100% pure honey? Anyone? 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 Why do you think the product was rejected just because? it was written 100% pure honey. Okay, I think I have a nothing can be 100%. Okay, yes, nothing can be 100%. Thank you, Damilola. Not allowed. Oh, not allowed. Women in export. Oh, that's great. Women in export, trade, and investment. Not allowed to unmute. Oh, okay. Okay, please send a chat because we have to do that due to the number of people we have on this call, so there are not too much of distraction. Yes, I would like to. Yeah, that claim has to be back. Thank you very much. So that is what I'm looking for. There must be a certificate to 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 back it up that your product is 100% pure honey. We are running against time, but let me quickly give this story that happened. We went for an exhibition in Canada last year, and we met a wholesaler. He's an Asian, but has a very huge warehouse that 95% of things in their warehouse are African products. And I can tell you that about 50% of those items in that warehouse are Nigerian products. So he got a product from Nigeria. I'm not going to call the name of the product because this is a very public, and of course, HJ is recording us, which means this will go far. So he is a very popular drink in Nigeria that diasporans also love. He has been importing the product from Nigeria. I think the first batch came in, it went successfully. Then the second batch came in and it was stopped by the customs. Why was it stopped? There is a label on the product that mentioned vitamins. So now the customs wants to know that these vitamins you listed or you mentioned on this product packaging, how did it come about it? Was it infused into the product or was it grown as part of the product? So they need a certificate to, to, to support your claim that this product has these vitamins or this product can give these vitamins. So the container was stopped. I didn't know how it ended, but I knew it didn't end very well for the exporter, for the importer. So that's just an example. So that's where certification is also very important. So let's quickly talk about packaging and labeling. This is a full day thing during our training. Packaging and labeling matters in exporting. Like we are saying, there is need to ensure that your products meet the international standards, either in brand in packaging, you talk about your brands and branding, or in the labeling. So good packaging and labeling, this is just a quote for you. Good packaging and labeling, it increases trust, smoother export process, and a better sales. What are the basic information that is required on a product before you can say, oh, okay, on the average, is this product is it's fit to be in the international space. The product name and function is very important. The instructions, how do you want to use, how are you going to use this product is very important. Then the country and address, the country and address of this where this product was manufactured, the content, the weight, the volume is also very important. Then the manufacturing date or expiry date, the list of ingredients, yes, the list of ingredients, the name and address of manufacturer or distributor. Of course, in supplying, especially for us in Nigeria too, you have to have your certificate number, maybe your NAFDAC number, sometimes SON. For exporting, maybe FDA sometime, or depending on the country, FDA is for US, depending on the country, maybe Canadian country authorities, regulatory. Then different countries has different labeling requirements. So that is why we cannot emphasize the importance of export plan. That's why we started the export plan. If you get your export plan right, then you are almost done. This is an exercise, but because of our time, this is to spot the labeling mistake. This is an only. This only is manufactured in Delta State. What is the challenge here? What is the labeling mistake here? I can't find the manufacturing date. I can't find the expiry date. I can't find the manufacturer's address. There's just a phone number. Of importance, another item that should be on your product, yes, the barcode is there. So the barcode should be there and it should be working. One thing we have also identified is that most Nigerian businesses have this barcode on their product, but they don't work. So that doesn't speak well of us. Basic exporting packaging rules, depending on the kind of product that you want to package, there are different packaging rules for it. The food products must be sealed, must be tamper-proof, and have a clear expiry date. Because even apart from being sealed and tamper-proof, there are also requirements for some specific types of food products. Some has to be in the foil packaging, a lot like that. If it is cosmetics and skincare, must meet ingredient list standard, especially if you are going to the European countries, IMCI must be part of it. Agricultural products, talking about commodities, the proper moisture control, the kind of fumigation that was done must be intact. If they are fragile items, then that means you need to put a shock absorbent packaging for safe transit. Different countries, different rules. So that is very important. That still takes us back to the importance of our export plan. Which country are you targeting? Different countries, different rules. There are different kind of packaging. You can see this image depending on the product. Wooden crate, wooden case, we have bales, we have foil packaging, it could be in the drum, either steel or plastic, it could be in cardboard boxes, baggage, cargo, the jute bag, pallet. Pallet is a no-brainer. So either in your packaging store material, in the container, then this product will be properly stacked on pallet. Common challenges. These are common faced by Nigerian exporters. Products rejected due to incorrect labeling. In fact, that is always happening everywhere. Products are rejected for the North America and especially in for Canada. If you are producing products for the Canadian market, then the product must be labeled in both in French and English because Canada is a bilingual country. So the product must have the French, all the information must be in French and English. So if you don't have English, it's the reason why the product could be rejected. And if it's a French that you don't have, it's the reason why the product could be rejected. Poor packaging leads to damage in transit. Just imagine this picture. So you require for a order, and because of the error from the supplier, it was not well done. That could make the product rejected. It could spill. Lack of proper certifications and compliance, we can't overemphasize that. Different regulatory requirements in each export market, we cannot also overemphasize that. So, want to talk about using a reliable supply chain for export. A well-structured supply circuit, of course, lower your cost, timely delivery, and higher profitability. What is this supply cycle? Supply cycle is the journey starting from the beginning where the product was farmed or where it was sourced, either in textile, either in agro products, up to the process whereby it gets to the final consumer. So that is the process of supply chain. And a well-structured supply chain circuit, is, of course, it will lower your cost, timely delivery, and higher profitability. This is one of the things that should be part of your export. So your export plan is a liquid document. It's a document that should be updated, that should be updated as information are coming, as you are getting experiences. So your export plan should be updated. Key stages in a supply cycle, like I mentioned, start from raw material sourcing, manufacturing and processing. For people that are packaging, if you are packaging, you have to ensure that the packaging product meets export regulations. Apart from this labeling and packaging, for countries like Rwanda, you can't take a product to Rwanda in pouches, in the nylon type of pouches. It's not acceptable. Even up to bread that we are so used to having our bread in leather packaging. Even up to bread in Rwanda has to be in a paper package. It has to be in a paper. If you go to the market and they sell something for you, if you don't go with your bag, then you will get your product in a paper. So if you have a product that you want to take to the Rwandan market, so there is no way they are going to accept your product from the border if it is not in the right packaging, especially if the packaging is against the regulations of that country. So more importance on question about the country and how and ensure that you follow through with their regulations. Storage and warehousing is another part of the supply chain, which is very important. This is very important because it takes a chunk of money if it is not done right. It will help your business and it will also make the business not so profitable. Then your distribution and logistics. That's another one on its own that needs special attention. Now let's talk about sustainable supply chain. What do you mean by sustainable? A supply chain that minimizes environmental damage. The last slide we have just spoken about the supply chain, starting from the raw material sourcing to going to the logistics and to the end user, to the customer. So within this process, a sustainable one is one that minimizes environmental damage, reduces waste, and supports fair labor practices. Why is this important for exporters? Because many international borders, in fact, not even the buyers, in the international trade system, sustainable sourcing is required. How did you get this product? Where did you source this product? Who are the people that source this product? To the extent that if that's why more emphasis is also being laid on traceability. If it is if it is a notice that maybe you use a child labor, for us here in Africa, in Nigeria, we might not see that child labor. So the children, they are working and you're paying them, they are below the working age as agreed for the laws of the country. Then this is a red flag for the international buyers. They don't want to have anything to do with you. So sustainable supply chain is something that as an expert, especially as you grow in the business, if you're still doing indirect exporting, as we mentioned earlier, maybe you can still fly. You are doing 5 kg, 10 kg, 3 kg, 2 kg. Maybe you can still fly. But if you really want to take this as a business and you want to scale, it is very important that you ensure that your processes are sustainable. So where do exporters source raw material from? I think we'll just say more during the virtual class, the physical class. But most importantly, choose your supplier based on your quality. What quality are they giving you? What quality is your end user requesting from you? Then the reliability. But as I mentioned earlier, if you know you cannot supply 1 ton per month, just say you can't supply 1 ton per month. If you know your capacity cannot take more than 100 kg, just let the buyer know that, oh, okay, I will only do 100 kg. I can't do more than 100 kg, then it's fine. So you have to ensure that you also have customers that are within this value chain that understand the importance of being reliable and also complying with export standards. So in Nigeria, only exporter sources from remote villages, but poor road network delay shipments, increasing costs, and missed delivery deadlines. These are just case studies of things that happens every day within the space. Suggest solution for the business. So I'm going to leave this to us. Maybe we can just copy this and put in the chat box, and people can drop their responses. Okay, we push this to our physical class. Our time is running. Accessing the international market. What are the market entry strategies? Very simple, but it takes a lot of work and dedication. Direct exporting. Sell products directly to foreign buyers, distributors, retailers. That is direct exporting. Sell directly to people that require the product. Using export agents and distributors. This is where you have intermediaries. You have a lot of them that play in the Nigerian space. They take the product to you and they sell to the international market. E-commerce and digital platforms. This has also been a platform that has exposed a lot of Nigerians and Nigerian products, the likes of Amazon, the likes of eBay, the likes of Alibaba, a lot of other platforms like that. Trade shows and export mission. Participate. Sometimes we say trade show is expensive, but it is important. Either you have some people, you have customers already in that country, or you have researched the country and you realize that this country is good for your market. To participate in trade shows. Trade shows we went in Canada. We were just on our booth when the man came into us. The man that said he had this big warehouse, the Asian man that has this big warehouse for African products there. He just walked up to the booth and said, okay, thank you, we are from Nigeria. Oh, okay, so I would like to see your product. Then he just took, and currently More than three people are exporting to him now at least every quarter. And most times he even ask for more. I say, can I get more? But one thing we have ensured is that just tell what you can provide. If you can't do more than 10 cartons, we understand that most people are small, medium enterprises, they are still trying to grow. And there are different challenges to why people cannot meet up with demand. But you should look at the circumstances that surround you and know if you can or you cannot. Another opportunity is franchising and joint ventures, of course, collaborate with foreign companies to expand your brand presence. A lot of things are happening with Nigerians now, discussing with big brands like Tesco in the UK, like Walmart. So a lot of things, this conversations are going on now. We can take advantage. Licensing and strategic alliances allow international partners to sell your products under an agreement. God helping us while being dedicated in this, you are able to get international partners that are interested in your product. Yes, this is an opportunity. Just make sure that the agreements are well signed. And as we tell our participants, those agreements, make sure you read it very well. Get a lawyer to read those agreements, especially those tiny prints they used to put under those tiny prints. Get a magnifier and read it and understand before you sign into any agreement. Test to enter into the international market. Secure buyers. You can use the digital platform to find buyers. There are lots going on in the digital platform now. We have our website from ITC has a website where you can search for products that are required in some countries. The Trade Facilitation Office Canada has a website whereby you can also search for similar information. There are a lot of websites like that you can use to search for people that require for specific kind of product. Identify your target audience. Yes. After doing your research, identify your target audience, develop an export. So I'm not going to talk about this because we have said a lot about it. You register as an exporter, of course, not only as an exporter, all the necessary certifications that you need. Try to get it. Meet compliance and quality standards. Ensure your products meet the requirements of the target audience. Then build logistics and supply chain network. So common reason Nigerian products get rejected at international borders, incorrect or missing labels, this was said earlier, non-compliance with local regulations over there, FDA for NAFDAC for USA, EFSA for it's like somebody's bringing in a product, a drug or food product into Nigeria and they don't have a NAFDAC number. Then it's a red flag. Our customers will probably allow it to come. They wouldn't allow it to come in. Poor packaging that leads to product damage.
Yeah, you're muted again. You're muted again. Okay, I think that the device that you used has stopped because I can see your video, but
Okay, can you hear me from this
it's
one?
back again. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now that we're in question and answer session, please everyone, we're seeing a number of questions that we will take at the physical session, and so we'll just take the top 3 that falls within this introductory session here. So if you have questions based on what has been shared here, because I'm seeing someone asking, can you tell us about certification for products to UK, EU, and USA for food items? Come to class. Come to class for that. Someone is asking if you can share the presentation. Come to class. Yeah, we'll provide that. We'll provide that. But we will one thing we will do for free for everybody in this community is that we can share the We'll share extracts of today's recording to everyone that attended via email, and we'll do that. But if we do not have any questions based on what has been discussed here today, we'll have to move on and then just anticipate. We see all the big questions that are here. I think that we can move it to the physical session, which we will talk about in a bit. Please, you can't raise your hands. Please drop the questions in the chat as we're unable to manage the large number of people unmuting and muting. All right. Adesonia says it looks forward to the excerpt. You get it via email. So expect an email from us in the next 48 hours thereabout. That will give you a summary and even what we're discussing next as per the way forward. So please just allow 2 more minutes in case anyone is typing for any questions for both our facilitators that have spoken today. It's been engaging. Ejike Tado says it's been very insightful. Thank you for that compliment. We're still holding on in case we have any questions. So I do not see any questions that is based on what has been discussed. I see a lot of questions as regards the next step, and that will be taken in class. And I think if there is none, Doctor, I think we should just tell them the next steps now. So I think we can move to the last slide and then share the next step. And do you want to do the honors, or do I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead with that.
You've taken the slide off. Okay, don't worry.
Yes, let me see if I can. Okay,
no,
project. Okay.
I'll project. Okay, no
it
worries.
got frozen again, so I was trying to.
Oh, okay. I am sharing my screen now. So if you can't see my screen, yes, you find out that what we have shared with you so far so good has been what is our own introductory offer as to what we can share with you. You will notice that there is, if you say that this has been insightful, know that there is a lot more where that came from. There is available one-on-one mentorship sessions that are available within what we have planned for you in the days ahead. For those of you who want to, ensure that you get your export license, we will support you, we'll facilitate you getting it, support that. For direct market linkages, you will get opportunities, you will get for expert guidance on compliance, all the questions that you are having around UK, US, Canada, for different, you will get that. Apart from a 3-day in-person workshop that we are planning, there is also going to be a follow-up of 2 virtual sessions after the training. Of course, you will get an official certification of participation after the training. And of course, the most important thing, the hands-on support that will enable you launch or relaunch your export business. This training is going to be handled by the 2 expert facilitators that you see with the host of support that they have and corporate partnerships that they have behind them. The location is going to be in Lagos, 41 CMD Road, Secretariat Magodo in Lagos. And the date we have set for this training is next month, from March 11th to March 13th. So if you are really, really interested in taking this forward, I will look forward to having you. The training fees for this program is actually 250,000 naira. However, we have created an early bird session of 200K for anyone who shows commitment before March 4th. That's in about 2 weeks' time. We'll give you 2 weeks. If you're super duper interested and you show interest, you can get a whooping 50K discount just by ensuring that you make that payment before March 4th. And for anyone who is interested, the registration link we will drop in the chat box here right now. I'll ask my colleague to drop it, bit.ly/exclusive export training. The training is TRNG, right? So my colleagues will drop that link. If you're interested, don't think twice about it. We promise you value for the investment in this training, and intentionally we cannot work with the over 300 people who registered and the over 80 who attended this session. It's best that we work with a small set of people. So if you want to take advantage of this exclusive training, we said it's 3 days intense physical workshop. We are having both facilitators coming in from Abuja into Lagos just for you. All right, please ensure that you click on that link that will be provided by my colleagues and then indicate interest. But of course, we will send these flyers, the link, to you via email. And if you have any inquiry as regards this training, or any inquiring about what we do at 8 or even Abuja Chamber of Commerce, if you want to connect with them, you can chat us 0806 2030 214. 006 2030 214. I will check the chat room now again to see if there is any question. Oh, okay. Someone is asking a question straight away. Yeah, I like this kind of questions. Does the payment cover accommodation, or what does it cover? Of course, 200K will not cover accommodation for 3 days in Lagos, okay? But it does cover your tuition. It covers tea breaks. It covers the materials that you get. And it covers the tuition, of course, covers them for all the value that we have distilled in the share presentation. Okay, does the fee cover accommodation? What does it cover? Okay, so I think I've answered that question, and my colleagues have also dropped the link. If you are interested in this training, please click on the link and put your details. Once you make the payment, send us the payment receipt via that link, so that immediately we can put together. We can put those who are in training together. When is another training coming up? That's what we're discussing. All right. This is intentionally to put value out there, and if this is enough for you, fine. But if you want further support, hands-on, where you're able to start, the objective for us, if you come through the physical class, if you come through the physical workshop, our objective is to ensure that you're settled and you are able to leave the program with an actual export business. Another secret behind this is that 8Gear as a hub is also doing a number of things. We are looking at how to actually partner with some export businesses to actually support what it is that you're doing. And we have no promises made, of course. We have potential investors, potential partners that are also looking at businesses and entrepreneurs that are looking towards export. And there are a number of other things that you can inquire also about at 8Gear Hub. If you need virtual office space, if you need strategy as regards different other things, if you need access to digital technology and the likes, we can also provide. So that number, 006 2030 214, is the number to call. Onye calling us says, I'm working at Ibadan. Well, it's your call. You could take leave. I'm not in the position to advise you what to do. But this workshop, we have our facilitators traveling from Abuja to Lagos. So if you're in Ibadan, if you can make your way, yes, if you can make your way to Magodo for those dates, if you can take leave off work for this training, if you want us to send this training to your employer to send you into the training, you can WhatsApp 006 2030 214, WhatsApp the email address that you want a formal invitation to training to your organization, if you want us to send it to your organization for consideration by your organization, send us a WhatsApp message, provide us the email addresses. We will send that. We'll send the invitation to your HR unit, your CEO, and let them know that let them know what it is that we have in store for you. All right, and if you have not voted, please, the activity box, you know where the triangle square circle is, just beside the chat box, please click on it. Let's have you take the vote before we leave. And it's been a long but beautiful day. We've started around 2 o'clock, and here we are at 3:45, and we still have a good number of us in the room. So please, if there are no further questions, I would love to say a very big thank you to Amina Akai and Dr. Tinuke Temitope for today. We look forward to hosting them in Lagos, March 11th to 13th, where we'll be having this physical workshop with a good number of us in attendance. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. We know that some already found the workshop insightful already. Someone already chatted us. Yes, so we will respond to the chat as soon as we are off the call. We'll begin to respond. Please chat us anytime, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday. We'll be happy to respond to you. So thank you, Dr. Atinuke. Thank you, Amina Akai. Thank you to everyone for coming in. Thank you to my colleagues at the back end who has made this work. Rotimi, Shola, see you, Babatunde, Bodu, thank you very much, and PC, thank you very much for the great work done. Appreciate you all. For those who will be at 8 Gear, March 11th to 13th, see you there. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye. I'd like to put faces to the name by March in Lagos. Thank you.